Hi everybody, Wayne Voles here, Profits Unlimited. Hope everybody's having a great day. Looking forward to sharing some neat information with you today. One of the things I'd like to talk about today specifically is bi-weekly mowing. I was talking with a company recently and they were talking about their bi-weekly mowing accounts. And from a commercial lawn and landscape contractor's perspective, I just don't understand why you'd want to fill your route up, or even have half of a route filled up, or a third of a route filled up with bi-weekly mowings. You talk about something that quickly eats into a profit margin. That's one thing that does it right away, guys and ladies. And you might say, well, what's that matter, or why does that matter? And think about it quickly. You know, springtime of the year is a big push for every one of us, right? Just is. I mean, we're trying to work around the weather. We're trying to work around new customers coming in. We're trying to work around employees and getting the work done and completed. So we got a lot of outlying factors that all of a sudden become issues. And now we want to throw in bi-weekly mowing services. And I think what's happened to us as an industry over the course, and I've seen this happen over the course of the 38 years we've been in the business, is that we try to let our clients dictate our mowing frequency. And I think what we got to understand is when we go to something other than a weekly service for a client, you know, you can't just price that job at, say, $25 or $55 or $100 or whatever the price is, and let the client dictate the frequency. Because what do we all know? As we increase the time between mowing cycles from 7 days to 10 days to 14 days or whatever it may increase to as you move time out for somebody, what happens? Well, quickly, you know, we start thinking about, okay, well, the grass grows more. That's the obvious answer, right? So instead of getting there and having 3 or 4 or 5 inches of grass to cut, we may have 6, 7, 8, 9 inches or more of grass to cut, right? What else happens? We have more rain, we have more height. So now something that was a 14-day cycle may become a 17 or an 18-day cut because of the rain that you've had in between has pushed your schedule back. So now Miss Smith or ABC company that was on a 14-day cycle, all of a sudden, guess what? That 14-day cycle's turned into even a longer cycle. So now you get there to mow it, and what happens? Well, what we see happen all the time with contractors, and when we did some of that, when we first started our company, we get there and we're spending 3 and 4 times the amount of time that it would take if that was on a more frequent cycle for the customer. But guess what? We're still getting paid the same flat rate. How many of you guys have ever had a customer come out to you in the spring when grass is growing like crazy and say, you know what, Mike, or you know what, Wayne, or you know what, Daniel, you know, y'all have been here a long time today making my yard looking good. I'm going to pay you a little more money. We laugh about it, right? It's funny because it doesn't happen to 99% of us. Now, I know there's a few of you out there saying, yeah, my customers have done that in the past. I hear you loud and clear. Every once in a while, a blind squirrel does get a nut. But at the end of the day, we can't run our companies that way. Because statistically, when we look at that state of the industry benchmark, and what I've seen over 38 years with companies that are trying to do those 14-day cuts and those 10-day cycles, they lose money on them. We can never recover enough money for the time allocated to that particular job. And also what you're losing out on is not only the money and the time that it takes to get, you know, grass that's that high cut down to that high and blown off and double cut and triple cut before you can leave and make it look right without leaving clumps and ruts and everything else in it in the spring of the year. But we can't fill our schedule up then because we don't have the time available with what I call the good customers, the weekly service cycle customers. So why not just look for customers? It just goes back to looking for the right clientele. Fill your route with weekly service customers and skip those bi-weekly people. You know, don't put those people into your rotation and you don't have to take them out of your rotation. learn from our mistakes. We made that mistake. We had too many different people on too many different mowing cycles, and we didn't have enough time for the good customers, as we call them. So be careful with that bi-weekly mowing. So if you're going to change the frequency from weekly to a 10-day service to a 14-day service or whatever extension you put on that frequency, be sure to understand that the time to complete the job is going to be greater. Hope that makes sense. I know for me it didn't make sense when I was early into my business. I was looking at it as, hey, I had hours to fill within my route. I needed to take that customer, that client, needed to come on. You don't have to take those clients. And if you do take those clients, be sure to charge the right price for the extra time you know that it's going to take in the spring when you're double and triple cutting the property, right? Remember, profit is not a dirty word. I appreciate you guys if you take a minute. If you like this video, subscribe to our Profits Unlimited YouTube channel, our Profits Unlimited iTunes podcast channel, and we've got a lot more good things coming to help your company be more successful, more profitable. Thanks, and I hope you guys have a great day.